And howdy, everybody. Welcome to Sherwin Ranch. We are flying, let's see, episode 14, I think, of the Nowhere Fast series. And this is where we left off on Tuesday. Didn't quite make it as far as we had hoped. We were thinking about trying to get to Robber's Roost, which is another 30 miles or so to the east. We didn't quite make it that far. So we're going to pick up right where we left off. We are going a little bit early, and I do apologize in advance for the crazy stream time adjustments, but that's just kind of the way it is right now at my house when we're working with family and that kind of stuff. But I think we are locked and loaded and ready to go. So let's get things started. It's a series of shorter routes today, shorter like 30-mile legs. So hopefully we'll be a little bit quicker in the navigational phase. Let me show you what we're looking at here. So we are right now here at Sherwin, which really was the needle in the haystack when it came to that route yesterday. If you didn't catch that, it's archived on the Melvin Leroy YouTube channel. You can go back and take a look at that. But we had a heck of a time finding that. It's, as you will see, it's kind of out here in the middle of, really the middle of nowhere. These eastern plains of Wyoming really are very tricky. Just there's not a lot of features out here. So, but we were able to find it. We did use a little bit of help from the VOR here in Newcastle. We found it. We're going to depart from there and pretty much due east for 28 miles. We're going to look to find Robber's Roost. We do have a couple of roads that cut north and south. The third one here is a major highway, and if we hit it, we know we've gone too far. But there is a little ranch road that runs along to the south of Robber's Roost, so hopefully we can find it. And there's this big T junction here as well. From Robber's Roost, we're actually probably going to either follow the road back up here, or we could even use the Newcastle VOR if we want, but we're going to come up here, find the town of Newcastle, find the airfield here, Mondale Airfield, and just follow this road with the railroad tracks over here to our next stop, which is Upton. And 83 Victor will stop there. Kind of an interesting airport. Again, pretty desolate and just a really beautiful part of Wyoming, but the airfield itself just kind of a dirt strip and a couple of buildings. But we're going to land there, and then from there we're going to continue heading to the northwest. We're going to look for this reservoir here. It's called the Keyhole Reservoir, and we're gonna try to put it down there in the airfield that's a part of that little community, the Keyhole airfield. And then after that, a little 10-mile hop over to Taylor. And again, not a lot. We'll just probably go direct. If we had to, we could come back down here, pick up the interstate, and all the way around to Sundance and pick up this road if we had to. But I think if we shoot straight across, we're going to see this road, and we're going to be, one way or the other. Should be able to find it. From Taylor, then we're going to come up here, and we're going to take a quick gander at Devil's Tower before putting it down at the IPY Ranch, which is just north of Devil's Tower. And at that point, it's just a 5-mile little jaunt over to Hewlett Municipal, where we will call it a day. Everybody got that? There'll be a quiz later on, so I hope you took notes. All right, put the mixture full. We'll crack the throttle. I have the walk around is all complete. Got fuel. Yep, put about a half a tank in there. Should, oops, Should give us about 4 hours of fuel. Yeah, pretty short ride. Yeah, we'll see here. We'll see. Gora Cruiser, welcome back. I think you were with us on the Tuesday flight, if I do recall. Glad to have you back, man. All right, nav is on, beacon's on, and we have a little bit. This is real time, but it's a little bit stormy out here. So that's kind of what happens on the eastern plains of Wyoming. By the way, they get some wicked thunderstorms. Okay, well, we're going to start. I am going to, just as I always do, I'm going to pop in a VOR and a radial just so I can have some backup here. So the Newcastle VOR 108.2, and I'm thinking it looks like 346 is the heading that'd be the inbound heading. So 136, is that right? Hey, you are welcome, Gora Cruiser, and would love to have you along. Like I mentioned before, this is a part of, we're actually going to fly this route with the Virtual USA Flying Club, and so you're getting a little sneak peek here, and you should be that much further ahead of the game, right? Should have much better luck than I did on the last leg. All right, what did I say? About 346. So that's 346 on the outbound. Yeah, about. Wait a second, that doesn't seem right. No, that's not right. Oh yeah, 340. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so right about one. Yeah, sorry, I was on the wrong side of the 15s there. That'll be lined up. Again, no DME in this bad boy, just a VOR and ADF, but that's okay. That's all we need. Let's really quickly let's take a look. Oh, I didn't load in. Sorry guys, I need to load in my active sky here. So the VOR that I am intersecting is the Newcastle VOR. And just give me 1 second here. All right, winds are 315 at 13, so kind of a northwest-ish type of departure. And the pressure 3014, scattered at 4,600, broken at 54. So that's normally you'd think, hey, that's not too bad. But the problem is our elevation's 4,100 feet, so we're going to be low. We really are we're gonna put the low and slow here. So we've got whoops, 30. Doggone it. Gora Cruiser's got me thinking now. 3014. Get that in there, and then I'll see if I have the thing set up here. 30, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is what I'm seeing, and tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, I will fix it, but I'm seeing that looks like I should be on trying to pick up this outbound radial of about 160, like 163. So what I've attempted to do is set that up here from about 163. Again, I'm not a real world pilot, so if I'm off on that, I don't mind feedback and correction. But that's the other important thing for us today is just flying due east. Essentially, we're going to try to get out of here to the east. If I can get out of here, come on, baby. There we go. Tell you what I'm going to do as well here is I'm going to turn off the window reflections. Kind of overdoing it a little bit, I think, today. make it a little bit easier to see. And I mean, I could flip it around, and I could tune it in the station and put in 346, I guess, but I'm thinking it's going to give me basically the same information here. So 40, just double checking my altitude so I know that I have my altimeter right. 4190 is the altitude. Yep. Well, right there, that's a good way to double check. There's my windsock, definitely showing me a departure to the northwest. Aquafunkalistic booty wap. Hello, my friend. You know, thank you. And that's Mr. X Grass, and so really always like to give that guy a shout out. He does some fantastic work, and at some point in time I'd like to create my own grass textures and forests and stuff like that, but for just these little routes, this works really, really well, and I do think it adds, especially with these little grass strips that sometimes blend in so well to the surroundings. I do think it just gives you a little bit of extra special sauce there. Alright, so a little bit of a crosswind departure here. It's going to be coming off our right hand side. We're going to put the flaps to our first notch. I'm going to put the taxi lights on. We're going to go ahead and do a quick run up, just make sure everything is working good. 1700 mag check. There's the left, a little bit of a drop, acceptable. There's the right. That's matching up pretty well. Pull the mixture back. Stays above 1500. And we'll go ahead and just lean the mixture out for best performance here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We're making good power. That looks good, and our suction is good. Our lights are on, flaps are down. Yep, I think we're ready to go. I think we're ready to go flying. Looking for right about 55. Airspeed's alive. There's 40. A nice long runway here, so no reason to panic. There's 50. She's getting a little light on the nose, and we're up. Hold that runway heading, and we're going to just basically make a 180-degree turn. I'll just make a little left-hand traffic so we can take a look at our little ranch that we have here. I don't know how well we'll be able to see it, but we'll just keep our eyeballs on it. Since we're going eastbound, I'd like to get to 5500 if I could. I guess we'll see what the cloud layer says about that, but that's going to be the goal. And I'm a little too far away to really see much of it, but kind of a cool little, it's like a little oasis out here. And there's all kinds of these little ranches that are spread out amongst the plains, eastern part of the state of Wyoming. And my ortho really does, I mean, there's a lot of trees right around here. Ortho does a decent job, I think, of rendering the general feel of the terrain, but it's a little more lush than it's maybe letting on. quite a bit of farm and ranch land out here. But yeah, there you go, Sherwin Ranch. Thanks for letting us hang out for a couple of nights. Thanks for the fuel. We were fuel critical when we arrived here, so it was nice to pick up a few gallons of gas, and we'll be on our way. Alright, I'm going to set my heading for about 080. The airfield that we're heading to is on a 09-1 heading, but our wind is out of the north, fairly stiff. I think, what did we say, it was 12 knots or 13 knots or something like that. So I'm gonna just crab into it just a little bit to compensate. And I've got the timer going. We have a 28 nautical mile leg, and so just over 60 miles an hour. So I would say it's going to be every bit of 20 minutes on this first leg. And we will count. There are 2 roads that will intersect us north and south. We'll keep our eyes out for those 2. That'll give us a feel for where we're at. And then a third, if we get to the 3rd road, which I think is actually a highway, we know we've gone too far. Aquafunkalistic, the biggest mistake I ever made was trying to make the scenery that I'm working on payware. Oh, it locks you out of using Mr. X. Yep. Yeah, and you know, at a certain point, I would love to have enough scenery objects to be able to offer a payware airport, but I don't even have any of my airfields out on the forums just yet. I just have been kind of lazy about that. I always think I need to go in and fix something, and I don't feel like they're ever done, so I kind of just leave them, share them with friends, and just mess around with a few buddies. Everybody is sort of like a de facto beta tester for me, basically. All right, got a little too far there. There we go. Let's hold 080. Oh my goodness, you know what? Am I screwed up here? No. I forgot to check my compass. Luckily my compass is fairly well aligned. Not right exactly on the money though, is it? Alright, let's we'll reset that. Luckily we weren't too far off. That could have caused a bit of a headache, but we have been going a little too far to the south this whole time. So let me readjust here, get back on that 080, and we'll see what happens. Now Robbers Roost is a similar type of airport as Sherwin. It's sort of a ranch that's out, you know, fairly isolated and not a lot of features around it. Does have some trees that are planted, has 2 runways, so there's a little bit more, you know, I guess space and things to catch your eye, but it'll be the same type of deal. We're going to have to rely on watching the roads and maybe watching our VOR needle, just kind of keeping all those things in mind as we're traveling out here. The cool part about Robbers Roost, so let me back up just a little bit. So overall, this route has been basically just about touring around North America and really the United States, because I haven't snuck outside of the U.S. border yet, but just cruising around the United States in an aircraft that's designed for VFR, designed to be nice and low and slow, so you can really see around and just kind of have an intimate you know, experience with the landscape. And so this is the 14th episode. I've been doing, you know, a couple per month, maybe sometimes a little more, maybe sometimes a little less, but I have traveled all the way from my home airfield, which is in central Wyoming, not far actually from where we're at right now, but all the way up through Montana and Idaho, up into Washington, Oregon. We then went down into Utah and Colorado, and now we're back again, sort of cutting through the eastern side of Wyoming, on our way probably into South Dakota. The ultimate destination, really, there is not one. the ultimate destination, I guess, would be to get back to my home airport at the end of the year. I mean, we're going to do this for a year and just again see as many places as we can see. And so the other part of this series that's important is people that are watching, if you've got an airfield that that's worth checking out, that's one of those little secret kind of hidden away spots, please, by all means, let me know what it is, because I would love to check it out. I'm all the way forward on my trim. Weird. Oh gosh, flaps need to come up. Holy Moses. Too much talking and not enough aviating. I would say almost a fourth of the airfields that I've visited so far, out of, oh boy, I don't know, 40, 50 airfields, about a quarter of them have been suggestions from folks in the chat or friends I have on Discord. And in fact, I'm heading to one in Minnesota that again is a request or a suggestion from one of my contacts on Discord. So let me know. Like I say, if you have one that I need to check out, I would love to figure out a way to get there, or see if I can get there and still be back to Riverton by the end of December. But this particular, I guess this particular couple of legs is also a part of something else. I'm a member of a GA group called the Virtual USA Flying Club, and I am hosting an event coming up on Monday the 22nd, and we're actually going to fly this entire leg in one night. So we're going to pick some a little bit higher performing aircraft, and we're going to be departing Laramie, Wyoming, and traveling up to Hewlett, Wyoming, and we are essentially paralleling an old stage line that used to run between Cheyenne and Deadwood, the Cheyenne-Deadwood stage line. And we're a little bit farther west for most of it, but this is one place along the way where it actually happened. In fact, Robbers Roost is one of the many stage stops along the route, and so there's some historical significance, which I think is kind of cool, and enjoying sort of reading about the area's history. And this is one of those spots that's pretty darn cool, and also again one of the benefits of flying this type of plane, 1,000 feet off the deck, is getting to experience that kind of stuff. All right, I got to think this is one of my roads that's cutting north and south. I know it's rendering a couple roads here, but I see a creek bed. I'm wondering if I'm already maybe on the second one here. I'm not sure. So this was a north-south road, and there was a creek bed. I may be already at the second one. I'm only 9 minutes in though, and I was thinking this is going to take me a good 20 to 23, 24 minutes. So I'm actually thinking maybe I just hit my first little north-south section of roads. Whoops, kind of got a little too far north now. Don't want to do that. There's another. I just think that's part of that wash bed there, that dry wash. I have no idea about this road that runs east and west. If I maybe have ended up way too far north, if that's the case, which that does happen depending on that wind. So I may have picked up this road right here, which again puts me a little far to the north of Robbers Roost. So I guess kind of to wrap up the point about the the second purpose, the dual purpose of flying these legs is I wanted to get out and test the scenery one last time before I made it available to the folks at Virtual USA Flying Club, just in case there was some major glitches and things that needed to be fixed up. Now maybe the wind is not affecting me as much as I thought it would. Or maybe there's just, I mean, there's so many little roads out here that the ranches use and the oil and gas industry they use. I mean, there's just a ton of stuff out there. All right. Yep. Our ceilings are a little bit low, but it looks like we're going to be okay to stay here around 5 to 6,000, which that'll get the job done for most of what we need here today. There are a few spots obviously that are a little bit higher up than that, but we are actually, Taylor's at 4950. That's actually our highest. Yeah, that's our highest airport elevation on this last little section. And even Devil's Tower's only 5112. So as long as it stays at about 6,000 or higher, we should be in really, really good shape as far as this portion of the trip goes. Episode 14. One thing I have not checked, does not look like we have any air traffic control in the area. It is Thursday afternoon after all. People are working. I, however, am not. I'm on a little bit of a vacation, which is kind of cool. Hey, somebody just pushed the follow button. Public Demon, thank you so much. Welcome to Prop Culture. Happy to have you along. Fire up your Cessnas and feel free to join me. There's an airfield down there somewhere, I promise. So I see our needle is really centered up here. So I'm feeling like, yeah, we're 14 minutes out. I'm feeling like maybe that really was that second north-south road. So I'm needing to maybe start looking around here just a little bit. And yep, there's my needle. I am centered. I am thinking perhaps I ended up a little too far to the north. I'm not seeing anything. There's a little reservoir. I don't see the reservoir though anywhere on. I don't see the reservoir anywhere on Sky Vector. And I see one that's way north. All right, we're past now. So I think what we'll do, let's turn south and let's see if we can chase this down. We could go a little further. Maybe we've already hit it. Let's try this. Let's keep going a little bit further to the east and see if we can pick up that. There's a pretty good Wyoming highway. I think it's highway, not highway 18, I guess. It's highway, yeah, highway 85. We'll see if we pick that up, because then we know for sure that we've gone too far. But I would also say that the VOR needle is telling us that. All right, there's the highway. I feel like, not based on any kind of empirical data, that I've gone too far to the north. So I'm going to turn back around here. Oh, and there maybe is a, there's a T. There's a road. That road take me where I want to go? No, I don't think so. So I'm looking for an intersection here. This is Highway 85 that we're following south, and there'll be Highway 18, again a fairly major, so it should be rendered with a blacktop like you're seeing, but a fairly major highway that's going to be coming in from the east. All right, I see a dry creek bed. Man, I think it's actually right over here, guys. Let's take a turn. I think maybe I see it. There's just a few clump of trees, but there's also yep, some buildings. I believe we found it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, very cool. So let's do a flyby and figure out which approach is going to be the best for us. The winds were, if I'm remembering right, 310. So one of the landing strips, you can see, whoops, that's a taxiway right there. There's the two landing strips. This one here that angles off to our right might be a good choice for us. Let's get the alignment here and see what it looks like, how close it is to being lined up with 310. About 300. And the other one actually might be even a little bit better. Alright, so we're going to just level out here. We kind of have our speed set. And I'm going to fly a little bit of a modified left-hand traffic pattern. We're going to call it runway 31. There's the crosswind. Let's take a look over here. Just make sure we don't lose sight of it. Power needs to, my speeds get a little bit low. Alright, we're heading on the downwind. Might be too low to see where I'm at right now. Got the field inside. I'm definitely down below my pattern altitude here, guys. So not ideal. This may be my, there's a dirt road that's right next to, nope, yeah, that's the dirt road. Okay, we're in good shape. I'm going to throw a notch of flaps in here. And we'll turn on the left base. We may just keep it going right to final. I don't know how close I am. Let's see where we're at. Yep, there's our airfield. So we'll just, our airstrip, I should say. We'll just bring it around on final. Not the greatest rollout in the world. Definitely a sloppy pattern, but let's see if we can get it on the ground here. Look at my VOR is not exactly lined up, and that does happen. I'll tell you another story about a different airfield that I tried to fly early on. Actually, the very first airstrip in the series that I tried to find, just west of here in the mountains of Wyoming, and the VOR led me astray. Alright, now we go. some sagebrush and stuff out here, as you might imagine. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And a 74.26. That's really good for me. Really good for me. Mike Sonante, where are you? You should be watching, buddy. Oh, it's kind of stuck. Ah, doggone it, guys. I don't know what to... Yeah, man, I'm having some weird issues with... I don't know if it's Twitch or Streamlabs or what, but I really apologize, guys. It happened a little bit on my stream on Tuesday, and then it after 5 or 10 minutes it got much better. So I don't know what is going on here, guys, but I do apologize, because that's frustrating. You just missed a good landing. So we're going to taxi in here. And again, this is Robbers Roost. This is one of the original stops on the Cheyenne to Deadwood stagecoach trail. Now I don't know how much is left of that those original buildings and stuff, but there is a neat historical site, and I'll show you the link here in just a second. But this is this is the sign that you get when you stop here. Deadwood 50 miles to the north, Cheyenne 130 miles to the west. Let me find that historical site. Robbers Roost Ranch, Stagecoach Station. Yeah, you might. There's some stuff here that you can dig around if you're like a history buff. You can kind of check it out. And if you can also do other searches, obviously, for Robbers Roost Stagecoach Station, and it'll it'll turn up some good stuff. All right, I think that runway is our best bet. So we're just going to back taxi. Get ourselves lined up. JPC with the host. You just missed a minus 74 landing, Mike. Another good one. So we're on the crosswind runway right now. We'll just back taxi down to that runway 31 or whatever that was. We'll get going. Yeah, I agree. Lars, I had some issues last night on Twitch just trying to watch. I wasn't able to enter anybody's chat, and there were just some weird things that were going on there. BC 5000, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. Slathering on the butter. Yeah, well, it's about time, man. I've been in a landing slump, as you know. Oh, my nose is itching like crazy. So it's good to put a couple of decent landings down. All right, so the plan of attack here, guys, leg 2. It's a 27-mile leg. Stay out of the sagebrush. That's the first plan. We are heading north, and we're going to head north basically toward the Newcastle VOR, but we have a highway that we can follow. And our good friend Al South MIA. What in the world? Al South, where have you been hiding, man? I missed you. This is the new lawnmower game sim, yeah. Well, I'm out here in Wyoming, and this rancher forgot to mow his grass. You know how those Wyoming people can be, right? You know, JPC, if I didn't have some commitments going on, I think I would do the same. I'd fly with you, man. Maybe I can sneak away and do a leg or something with your, because I think you're not going to be able to go all the way in one shot. In that range of that TBM is a little bit limited if I remember, but yeah, why not? I don't. How many people do you think are going to try to do it in a propeller driven, even even something as fast as the TBM? I think that's kind of a cool, unique idea, man. All right, let's get everything ready to go here. Takeoff, trim is set, flaps 1. I am leaned for power. Let's see if I am leaned for power. Right about there. Okay, so departing again out to the east. I should have set my VOR, shouldn't I? Dang it. Yeah, when we get up in the air, we'll do it. This is a little shorter runway and a little bit uphill too, so we may be giving the chickens a little bit of a scare because we're going to be kind of late getting off the ground. There's 55. I would use a little ground effect, but I don't want to make them too nervous. And we're up, and all right. We'll see you later, Robbers Roost. Let's head to the east, and we'll pick up that highway, and we'll start heading north toward Newcastle, Wyoming. You are not mistaken, Al South. That is a great plane. And I understand that they also just bumped out a second or maybe a third update. So make sure you go check it out. All you have to do, I guess, is just re-download. Go to the org store and re-download, and it's fixed a couple of the bugs that have been reported. But yeah, what a great plane, Al South. Super fun. Really glad I picked that up. And yeah, that might also be part of that Robbers Roost. It's hard to tell. There's our highway. Let's get going to the north. I'm going to set my timer now, and we're going to track 27 nautical miles. So a little over halfway. Yeah, 13, probably 17, 18 minute leg here, I would say. Just rough math. I think we're going to go about 4,500. No ATC, and I have not been making any CTAF calls either, so I do apologize for that. This is tuned, by the way, to the Newcastle VOR. So if I spin this guy around, and that's just I don't care to fly this heading per se, but just out of curiosity, give us a sense of roughly where we should be going. So that's telling me right now, if I was to take a heading of 340, I'd be right on the money. So I'm going in the right direction. All right. Well, I'm glad you stopped in, Al South. Like I say, I've been thinking about you, been missing you, man. I hope you get to a spot where you can start joining some of these flights. Try to keep, if you can, Monday night. I'm hosting the Virtual USA Flying Club, and we're flying these airfields again, and we'll be doing it all in one shot. So if you can sneak away, come join us. If not, I'll be looking for you, maybe in the wee hours of the evening, which I know sometimes is all you can do with the job and all. But good to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming in. As Mike Sinante would say, thanks for stopping by. And here we go, racing a semi down the highway. We're not doing much more than he is right now, but we are doing 90 plus, so I'm pretty happy about that. I am also redlining the RPM, so let's pull that back just a little bit. And so Newcastle as you can see, the terrain is starting to change a little bit here to our west. We're just sort of on the eastern, not quite southeastern, but the eastern edge of the Black Hills. The Black Hills region, it kind of spans the border of Wyoming and South Dakota. It actually goes all the way down into Nebraska, and just a really beautiful area. If you've never been there, it's probably best known for Mount Rushmore and Crazy Horse National Monuments. But the other thing that it's well known for is coming up here in just a little bit, Devil's Tower. It's right at the kind of the northern edge of the hills. Thanks for coming in today. That's right. Yep. Sorry. Maybe I'll just I'll steal your phrase and modify it slightly. Thanks for stopping by today. No, I'd never do that. We will not be going to see Mount Rushmore and Crazy Horse. I had initially thought that those would be a couple of fun little detours, like we would have basically we would have just kept going east right there from Robbers Roost and headed that way, and that would have taken us to both of those areas. But I'm working with another scenery guy, and you may have heard of him. The guy's name is Downwind Sim, and he has he's been doing some work on these national monuments, and he's got a little bit of work done on Mount Rushmore, and it looks really nice, but it's not quite where it needs to be. And then he's been focusing. We only had so much time to get ready for this event, so he's been focusing on the Devil's Tower National Monument, and we've just about got that buttoned up. As soon as we get that buttoned up, then we'll have the scenery ready to go. The airfields are looking pretty good so far. I'd say outside of Robbins, the very first airfield that we went to, I'd say we're so far ready to go. I guess we'll see what these last few look like. So we're going to Upton, and then we're going to Keyhole, and then we're going to Taylor, then we're going to IPY Ranch, and we'll end up at Hewlett. We'll see if we make it all the way. Trying to keep my eyes peeled here. There should be a river that we cut across. This might be it. It cuts across the highway, and I don't know what this is. Just there's just a series of little dry rivers that run through these parts. They fill up in the spring when we get the heavy rains or a thunderstorm, but then for most of the year, they're just like they look right here. They're dry. But they make for some really good bird hunting. Good habitat for pheasant and quail. Lots and lots of geese, lots of waterfowl that come through here too. It's part of a major flyway, and so really, if you enjoy bird hunting, this is a great place to be. I'm thinking our ground speed is a little bit slow now with that wind coming out of the north like that. Every time I see a default road that looks like that, I think about the plugin that Steve PHL told me about that fixes that, and I keep forgetting to install it. Apparently it takes out the blacktop that gets auto-genned in there, but it keeps the traffic still drives on it, and so you know you're still seeing movement and stuff like that. You know, when it looks like that, when it's a straight north-south highway and it's lining up pretty close to where everything is, I mean, that looks really, really good. But that stuff that we saw, probably won't be able to see it back at that ranch where it was just a hodgepodge of roads and most of them aren't paved anyway. Then that's just that's where it gets a little bit frustrating. Not as realistic as you'd like it. There we go. The Black Hills, of course, derived their name from the heavy, evergreen forests that grow in the area. They're just really dark green, and then of course from a long ways away, then they look black. So that's essentially where the name derived. I don't know what the Native American name for the Black Hills was. I'm sure there is one, but I don't remember right off the top of my head. I do know that the Devil's Tower has several different Native American names based on what tribe you're talking to, and the one that's kind of gaining a little bit of momentum over the last probably decade or so is Bears Lodge. And so there's actually a fly-in up to Hewlett called the Devil's Tower Fly-In, and I didn't want to steal that name, so I just decided to call this little event the Bear Lodge Fly-In. I kind of like Bear Lodge better than Devil's Tower anyway. There's all kinds of, if you do a Google search for Devil's Tower, you're going to see all kinds of Native American ties, and it's a sacred site to many tribes that were in this area, and it's kind of cool. You go up there, and there's a trail that you can go all the way around, and pretty much all the way around there's stuff that Native Americans have left, and it's kind of like a little bit of a museum in some ways with some of the artifacts. Well, I don't know that I did see. I've seen a dozen or so of these, but I don't know that I've necessarily seen the one that I am really looking at here on the sectional. So I'm really looking at this little wash right here. We're on this road right here, by the way. We're kind of more like going like here. So we're on this. I'm looking for it, and I haven't really seen it yet. But this road with the railroad track is going to be tough to miss. So we'll just continue to fly basically northbound. You can see we're well off of our VOR, but that's okay. JPC has the stream quality improved any? It was really stuttery there for a while, and I don't have any more error messages, so I'm hoping whatever was causing the problem has gone away, or anybody in the chat is. Hopefully it's a little smoother now. So BC, we're on the eastern plains of Wyoming, actually just bumping up against the western slope of the Black Hills. And so if you were to find Newcastle, Wyoming, We are just south of Newcastle, heading north toward Devil's Tower. That's our ultimate goal here. So at the time of the ortho, this obviously is a like middle of the summer type of shot where it's pretty dried out, kind of brown. And yeah, towards the towards the end of August, September, this is kind of it gets pretty dry out here. All that prairie grass, it's nice and gold. Boy, I can tell the wind's blowing though, because I am having a hard time keeping it straight and level. This plane is usually fairly stable. We also have some power lines that looks like that we're gonna run across here at some point as well. We're 13 minutes, almost 14 minutes into it, and I was thinking that would be about 20 minutes or so until we hit the town of Newcastle. Oh, good, BC 5000. Yeah, I don't know why. I've really had, ever since I've run my Ethernet and just hardwired into my modem, yeah, my stream has not had any problem with stuttering and dropping frames. And then all of a sudden, just on Tuesday night, basically, it started to do that. So yeah, I don't know if that's, I don't know where that's coming from, but I appreciate you hanging out anyway. All right, we've got another, there's our train track, and here's our other road. Okay, so we are almost, guys, we are almost to where we need to hang a left. Oh boy, clouds are moving in now, aren't they? You know what I don't have? I don't have my weather. I'm going to turn my weather on here and see. Like I said, it's not uncommon for this part of the state to get some pretty nasty afternoon thunderstorms. I kind of thought today the weather would be a little bit nicer, but yesterday it was ugly. We had early morning cool rain, got kind of windy in the afternoon, and apparently up on the top of South Pass they got over 6 inches of snow, and so it was yeah, yesterday would not have been a good day to try to fly, because all that weather system just gets stronger and stronger as it gets over the mountain and rolls out here to the plains, picks up a little bit of heat, and it just gets ugly. Okay, so we're going to come up here, and then essentially where these guys all come together, we should be just on the eastern edge of the town of Newcastle, and we can go from Newcastle to the northwest. We're basically going to be following a 300, but we are just going to stick on. So we're all these, where the road and everything comes together, we're kind of right, we're just about right there. So we'll just follow the road, and the road takes us right up to this town of Upton, which the airfield of Upton is just to the southwest. We should also see the airport that's just off to the west of Newcastle, Mondell Airport. And so that was about 17 and a half minutes. We're making pretty good time, actually. I may need to gain a little bit of elevation. The Mondale Airport is 4,178 feet, and we're not quite at pattern altitude here. We're in no danger necessarily of hitting terrain, because we're going to be, as you can see, we're turning to follow the tracks and the road, and we're in the town of Newcastle right here. There we go. That's about a heading of 300, and we're going to be shooting past this Newcastle VOR, which is just located pretty close to the airfield, actually. So our VOR needle is going to be going kind of crazy here for just a little bit. Buzz the town and mess up all the noise ordinances. Pretty good job with the auto gen down there, though. A few spots are left out, but otherwise it looks pretty good. So I've not seen the airfield just yet. I don't know if I just missed it or if we're not quite there. We're still, I guess, at the edge of town here for Newcastle, so we have a couple of miles to go after we get past the town here. As I'm looking at my weather, I'm not seeing any moisture in the area, which is good, but I am seeing the further we get toward Hewlett, the more the winds are going to be picking up, and we'll be fighting that along the way. So the bumpiness is going to be something we're just going to have to deal with. The last time I was up in the Upton area, in the sim, that is, I was flying with downwind sim, and it was so windy that neither one of us could land. It was something like sustained winds of 20 plus and gusts over 30, and neither one of us could land. I think we were both in the prop strike tail dragger 170, and we ended up, I think we went around 2 or 3 times and then ended up just diverting to somewhere else. There's not been very many places in a sim where I haven't at least tried to land it. But that one was, I couldn't even get myself lined up, excuse me, with the airport. I was just getting blown all over the place. And Upton has 2 runways, so you have a pretty good shot at finding one that's, that's decently, letting the wind work for you. But in this case, it was just too erratic and way too strong. And maybe if you were coming in there with, something a little bit heavier, it would have been a little bit more doable. But for us and what we were flying, it was not. It was just not a good idea. I see the Newcastle, well, the Mondale Airport right down there, right off the interstate. Looking good, looking good. All right, so we're gonna set our timer, and we've got 19 miles now, right, basically along the highway here to the town of Upton and the airfield that's located just off to our right-hand side as we get there on the south side of the road. Yeah, it is. It's a fun plane, no doubt about it. I have this one, and I have the 150 from V-Flight Air, and that's another really fun plane. I understand there's, well, I don't just understand. I know there's also a 152 from Just Flight that I've always thought would be fun to pick up as well. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that a guy needs 3 Cessna 150/152s, but I also don't know that a guy doesn't need that. I'm just saying. Uh-oh. Got some commotion upstairs. So if the little first officer gets up from his nap, we may end up cutting this stream short. Afternoon is hangout time with Papa, and so that's why kind of at the beginning I said we'll see how far we get here, and if we don't make it all the way up to Hewlett, we'll just do a part 2 later on tonight. I was hoping to be able to get this leg knocked out though, because I was going to try to hop in the Kodiak with Jet Pilot Cinnamon and maybe do a leg with him in that plane. But we'll just have to see. So many flights, so little time, right? So this is a pretty major thoroughfare for the coal trains that run in the northern part of Wyoming. Gillette, Wyoming is a fairly well-known, a kind of a world-renowned area for producing high-quality coal, and this is one of the rail systems that takes the coals to the east. Takes coal to the east. Very busy kind of neck of the woods here as far as rail activity. This is the Coronado with the NH Adrian mod, and I can't recommend, if you have this plane, I cannot recommend that NH Adrian mod enough. It is a fantastic add-on. Really changes the whole look and feel of the plane. Where is the rock? Don Shop asks. Well, it's coming, my friend. It's coming, I promise. First of all, we're trying to find a little town called Upton, and a municipal airport here, Upton Municipal. So we're still a little bit south, and yeah, we may or may not get there this afternoon. I've had a little bit of a window with the little guy laying down taking a nap, but he's not going to take a 3-hour long nap. I kind of know that. So it's just a matter of how far can we get while he's crashed out, and if we make it, cool. If we don't, then we'll pick up where we left off either later tonight or maybe this weekend. There's one thing about this stream that I've learned is sometimes you have to modify your plans just a little bit due to varying factors. Now usually it's weather or like Tuesday night we were running low on fuel, but sometimes it's also other things like family time. Okay, there's some power lines right over the top, and I think we're still doing good here as well. Again, it was 19 miles from Upton, from Newcastle, the Mondale Airport to Upton, and we've been going about 6 minutes past that. So, you know, anywhere kind of in that 10, 11, 12 minute mark. So we're about halfway, I think, to the Upton Airport. And Don, wait till you see this. Wait till you see this Devil's Tower that my friend Downwind Sim has made. It's not available to the general public just yet, but it looks really, really good. Ortho, the Devil's Tower in Ortho leaves a little bit to be desired, but this one here it's a nice rendition. Recently bought the plane, but haven't flown it yet. Yep, the add-on is. I don't think the mod is on the store. I think it's in the forums. I think if you just search NH Adrian. And Cessna 152 or something. It'll come right up. Coronado version of this is, I mean, it was cool in its day, and it you know, it's Coronado, so it's not bad, but it's definitely showing its age a little bit. And I think it was originally designed for X-Plane 10, and they've sort of, you know, brought it over into X-Plane 11, but they haven't really done a lot with it as far as, you know, just it's just a little bit limited, I guess. And kind of the panel looks a little bit dated, and not dated in a good way, but like dated in an old airplane coding way. And the first thing that the NH Adrian mod does is it just makes the interior look absolutely phenomenal. Several different styles of panels, and um, and then it has a bunch of different liveries. Actually, my favorite livery is, I call it the pizza box livery. It's a Bush livery, and it's got a mismatched. I don't know if it's left side or right side, which one. One of the doors is mismatched, and it has a pizza box sitting on the side. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I apologize, guys. I've been hollering at you this whole time. I forgot we have noise canceling headphones. Wow, that makes a big difference. No wonder my ears are ringing for an hour and 15 minutes. I've been listening without my noise canceling headphones on. Much better, much better. But yeah, go take a look. And BC 5000, do this for me. Get the plane, just the plain Carenata one up and fly it just a little bit. Just get it going, and kind of make a mental note of the sounds and of the flight characteristics, and the panel and everything, and just maybe do a little comparison, because it's been so long since I've flown this plane just as the Carenata plane, um, that I somebody asked me the other day about the differences, and now I can't remember what the Carenata one is like, other than it just felt really, really dated. Oh, and I am hearing thump, 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 thump happening upstairs, so you guys know what that means. Unfortunately, that means that it looks like Upton is going to be the final stop of this little section. Um, but what I will do is, sorry JPC, I'm going to have to skip the Kodiak flight tonight, because I do want to get, well, maybe I won't skip the Kodiak flight tonight. Maybe I'll just do a bonus stream, and we'll go from Upton the rest of the way. Maybe we'll do that this weekend. As long as I'm in Hewlett before Monday night, I'm in good shape, because on Monday I want to do the event with the other guys in the Virtual USA Flying Club, but I'm going to pick a plane that's a little bit quicker, because I'm going to have to be going all the way from point A to point B. So I'm going to pick something like more like the Kodiak, or you know what I'm saying, something a little bit quicker. Maybe I'll fly the Islander. Hmm. All right. There's 12 minutes, and we are looking for the town of Upton, and this might, no, this is not it. I'll take the Pepsi challenge. Appreciate you playing along. But yeah, I just would like to get somebody else's perspective on, like, the differences uh, between the two planes, because all I can remember is that it's like a totally different aircraft. It is just, and I don't know if that's just the visuals, but I think it's also the sound, the engine sound, and but I think the flight characteristics are probably also tweaked a little bit, just to be better, more in line with what X-Plane 11 can offer. So I'll be curious to talk to you, BC 5000, when we're all said and done here. Okay, I'm seeing like a lot of stuff here that looks pretty townish, and I believe that that's our airfield over there. We're gonna just take a little sidebar here, little lefty-loo turn, and go check it out. There's our train that's been chasing us the whole way. Yeah, it's like a single hangar type deal. I told you really strange looking place. Yeah, I think this is it. I think this is our deal. So we're going to want to land. I'm just going to overfly and kind of do a I'm not exactly up as high as I should be, but yep, that's it. That's us down there. Kind of feels like a dry lake bed type of deal. All right, so we're going to turn, enter a left-hand downwind, and I'm just going to take a wild guess. I'm going to call that like a runway maybe 3-4, something like that. We're just gonna see how close that is. That might not be enough. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty close, I think. All right, let's start bringing the power back. Get a notch of flaps in here, and make our base. The turbo that I have flown that, Don. That is a fun plane and pretty amazing. Another really good freeware product. I have the hardest time picking up this runway. I think we're going away from it a little bit here. Okay, we'll come around on final. We'll see if we can make heads or tails of our runway. I think I see it. There she is. I think during the springtime there's a lot more grass and stuff that grows around here, and it probably is quite a nice little, well, if you the few pictures and videos that I see of the airport, it looks like a nice little, nice little muni. But right now it looks like desolate desert, arid. But as long as it's flat, we can get down. That's all I'm worried about right now. All right, I've got a couple notches of flaps in. I think that's probably all I'm going to go. We're a little bit quick here. Whoa, there was a downdraft. Man, it's windy here, guys. Holy cow. Wow, is it windy. My ground speed is like nil right now. I feel like I'm just walking. Oh, I was a little too high and I kind of started to stall out. Yep, so that's there you go, guys. You go from 79 to a negative 419. I should have kept a little more power in on that one. That was a plunker. Okay, let's taxi back. I'm gonna pause. I'm not gonna stop just yet. I'm gonna pause and sneak my ears upstairs and see if I heard correctly. And if the little guy's up, it probably means it's time to go play. We have a bike ride or something we're gonna have to do. Maybe go fishing or something. I don't know, but I take that back. I guess there's a couple of buildings up here, but if it's still all quiet on the western front, I will take another leg here. It's only 17 miles up to Keyhole Reservoir, and the farther toward Hewlett, the farther we get toward Devil's Tower, the more scenic and beautiful it really is. So let me pull off to the side. I'll keep the engine running, and I may be back because I haven't heard anything since the initial kind of thump thump thump. Stop right here at Keyhole. No, sorry, Upton. We'll just let her idle for just a minute. All right. I'll be right back, guys. You're right. I would have had a limp after that one, BC. Does this have the E6B or E6? Yeah, it does. And it'll holler at you. It'll holler at you if you plunk it down, whatever, more than, is it 6 G's? Is that what it is? All right, well, he is, I think the little guy's still sleeping. So it must have been my youngest son that was upstairs clunking around in the kitchen getting a snack or something. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to try another leg. And like I said, this is actually all the legs from here on out are short. They're all under 20 miles. This one here is, we're just going to fly a heading of about 325, and we're going to be looking for the Keyhole Reservoir. This is kind of what we have here. Upton, just straight up to Keyhole Reservoir. There's a little notch in the lake, and the airfield, it just sits right in that notch. So we're going to go up there, or head that direction anyway. I don't have any kind of a VOR tuned or anything like that, because this one here is fairly easy to find. And yeah, we do have to have another landing because we got to make up for that last one. That was not good. All right, we're on the runway. Notch of flaps are in. Takeoff power is set. We are still leaned for maximum power. Lights are on. And we'll be making oh shoot, just pretty much runway heading here, guys. All right, let's do it. Strange to see a municipal airport that's still not with an asphalt runway. All right, there's coming up 50. There's 55. Rotación. And we'll see you later, Upton. Upton Municipal. Flaps coming up. What did I say? 325? Yeah, we're just about there. Gain some altitude here. The Keyhole Reservoir Airport is about 42. Yep, 4250. So why don't we try to get it up, around 5,500 or so at least. And there is no road that takes you direct from Upton to Keyhole Reservoir, but we will pass over the top of Interstate 90. Whoops. There's our train going. See you later, guys. Feel like we're crabbing a little bit left into this wind. Winds generally here are from the west, so not super surprising. We'll get 5,500 and we'll level it out. Start looking for the Keyhole Reservoir. All right, let's see how we do here. I'm wondering if I have, kind of drifting a little bit to the left, I wonder if I have any kind of ATIS. I've not used my comms at all. Very bad job on the radios today, by the way. Yep, there's nothing on the...
Kilo India.
Oh, wait, I take it back.
Kilo India, Kilo Alpha, airport information, Juliet 1939 Zulu, weather, wind 301 at 13, gusting to 23, visibility 10, sky condition 4600, scattered, ceiling 5900, broken, temperature 18, dew point 4, altimeter 3013, advise on initial contact, you have information, Juliet.
Okay, Kilo Alpha,
Kilo
India, Kilo Alpha. I have no idea where that airfield is, but it's got to be in the area for us to be picking up the ATIS, so it gives us a rough idea. Winds are still out of the north, and the gustingness is what the concern is. The winds are 13, but the gusts are 23. Do I use X camera? No, I don't. I just have a couple of views set up just in the regular X-plane camera. I do think that X camera looks pretty awesome. It's something I'm interested in later on. I've seen some guys that have that set up. Captain Canada Mustache has that thing set up, man, and it is nice. You can really do some nice cinematography with that. But I'm seeing the Keyhole Reservoir already at our 12 o'clock. Despite the X-plane haze, I am seeing the lake, and we're heading right for the little keyhole notch. So we should be able to pick up that airport here. So this is another airfield that has 2 runways, and this might be the last one on the... Yeah, this might be the last one we hit that has 2. In fact, I know it is. So if winds are 300, we'll try to find one that's kind of cutting into that direction. I think one of the airfields is pretty well north-south, and then there is another one that's angled a little bit more to the west. So we should have a decent chance of picking up a runway with favorable winds, even if it's gusting. And I don't know about you, but I think maybe I'm seeing something out there. Don, are you seeing what I'm seeing, my man? In the distance there? Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there, buddy. Yep. She's coming into view. It is, as you might imagine, up here where it's fairly flat, even though we're, kind of flirting with the Black Hills a little bit. This is Devil's Tower is visible for miles around. Quite a landmark. Aha! You've got the schedule of a 3-year-old. Well, you're right. You are right. Happy Thursday to you. Hey, look at how nice your Devil's Tower looks from a distance through the haze. Look at that. I'm gonna steal that line, Downwind Sim. That's a good line. I have the schedule of a 3-year-old. If you're just joining us or you have no idea what Downwind Sim is talking about, my oldest son and his family have moved back in with us temporarily. He's in grad school and is getting ready to depart in the fall, but in the meantime, he's brought his boy, my grandson, with him, and so we do have some fun, him and I. But right now he is napping, and that's why Papa gets to play a little bit. All right. Well, downwind binoculars are on and I did have to zoom in there a little bit. Oh, look at there. We got some sunshine coming through, which is nice. Good timing. Just in time to hopefully find the airfield. I think we have that airfield at our 12 o'clock. I think we're coming right in. So downwind sim, I was just telling the chat that the last time you and I were here, neither one of us could actually land. It was that windy. What were we flying? Were we flying the Taildragger 172s? What were we flying that day? Or were we in the turbo, the PC6 yet? I'm trying to remember. All I remember is it was windy, and it is windy here again. There's I-90, by the way, so we are definitely on the right track. And I just need to make heads or tails. I think I see a runway. I believe I see a runway here, guys. I might try to make straight in. I'm going to just turn. I'm kind of on a right base. Yeah, I think I have the runway. I think I have the field. Let's see if I can get slowed down in time. There's a notch of flaps. We are a bit high. Okay, maybe I don't have the field. Yeah, I think I do. No, I don't. That's definitely not it because there were no power lines. All right, false alarm. False alarm. Let's just keep heading this way here because I do know we're in the neighborhood. Discord chat, hang tight here, my friend. Let me get stabilized. And oh, I'm hearing okay. This will definitely be our last. This will be our last leg. I'm hearing the little guy upstairs. And all right, downwind sim. I'm on the voice chat if you want to come on over. The voice chat, is that from the Department of Redundancy Department? Okay, I've got to go. I got to get up closer to the lake here. Perhaps I am. No, I think I'm in good shape. Well, here we go again. This kind of has a feel of an airstrip, but I'm not seeing any airport buildings, so well, I thought I was a little closer and higher up than I actually was downwind. So that was my concern, is could I get it slowed down in the 28 feet that I thought I had. All right, here we go. This is
good afternoon.
Hey, hello there, sir. Hello. All right, here we go.
You're welcome to use that line if you need the schedule of a 3-year-old.
Thank you. I need it because I'm about to be done with this stream because my 3-year-old is upstairs and chomping at the bit to play. So I have found, I believe I've found the airfield. Yes, I have. All right, there we go. And I do see the runway. And I'm gonna be on the runway that is actually a little bit crosswind. So this could be an adventure. Let's see if I can get it slowed down.
I think that's an oxymoron, isn't it?
All right.
Are you allowed to say that in 152?
All right, here we go, boys and girls.
I'll hop out and run ahead and chase everything off the
Thank you.
runway if you'd like me
I
to.
might need you to. All right. We need to do better than last time. We've had one really good one and one really bad one.
Are we voting?
You know how it always is. There we go. That's another good one. That's another good one. All right, guys. Well, and that was even with a little bit of a crosswind. Look at that. So, okay. Now that you're here, Downwind Sim, I'm going to have to cut it short, go hang out with the little guy. Oh, come on, let's go. But here's the plan, everybody that's still around in the chat. So there are still 3 airfields left to visit in this leg, and so what I would like to do is kind of call it good here, and then I'm going to decide to either come back later tonight and finish up. We'll depart right here from Keyhole and go to Taylor, and then tour Devil's Tower, and then end up, well, IPY Ranch, and then end up at Hewlett.